So, as it turns out, I had to get another prop shaft for the front axle. My other one here, like I said, we kind of tinkered with the other end. We're trying to make a hammer, so we're trying to weld it shut. Anyways, we ended up somehow welding the threads. So I tried tapping it out, and that just wasn't gonna work. This is from a '96 Explorer. The joints are in the same condition. These are still pretty tight. They don't feel too bad. I might pop them out and throw some new grease in there. And then this end is pretty good. This there's a little rubber insulator down in there. It's a lot better condition than the other one here. The reason why this is in better condition is because, as it turns out, the Explorer that this was from had a massive leak somewhere, and so as you can see, the whole drive shaft is moist. Right up here it had an oil leak, and then down here it had a transfer case leak. So it was pretty well lubed up. Just got your usual rust color. Took all the bolts I needed. I did get extra hardware for that, but oh well. So I'll probably take that back within the next day or so to get my core return. It was like $5. I don't need this laying around. Let's see, when was this one made? I know this is 95. Yeah, 95, a year earlier. So wow, we have a transmission from a 96, springs from a 94, and a prop shaft from a 96. Starting to be a Frankensplorer. And then we got our CV shafts. These are brand new, fresh, ready to go. No core return. Yeah, these definitely feel a lot nicer than the last ones. I got some Lucas assembly lube that I want to get on those seals so they so it makes them last a little longer. I was gonna do royal purple gear oil, but I figured we'd do this heavy duty Lucas stuff. Lucas stuff's pretty good. Trans and diff lube. And then here's our assembly lube. This stuff you definitely want to use gloves with. It's nasty. Well, anyways, oh yeah, we bought washers. And what I did, this really isn't too good of an idea, but it holds them in. I put 2 washers per bolt, and now it holds them in there, and they'll run down all the way. They'll get nice and snug. So now I can go ahead and install it now. Okay, I was able to successfully get this differential up in here without needing someone's freaking help. So basically what I did is I pushed it as hard as I can or could to get it up here. And what you do is you get the first bushing in, the mount over here. As soon as you get it up there, or when you get it close there, get your little jack, get it underneath the this side of the differential, and then push up. And then once you get it to where you can get a bolt in, just slam it in there, and then from there you can use your jack to lift it all the way up and get your bolt in here and your bolts in the back. Now I'm an idiot and thought, oh, I need these washers to go over these bushings. No, the 2 bolts that didn't have the washers go in the frame here, and then the big one with the other one with the big washer, yeah, that one covers up that, it clamps down that bushing. So I didn't need to get washers, but I did need those washers for the plate on the side. So now that's in. Now it's a matter of bolting up the drive shaft and then tearing apart the front suspension to complete hell, and then installing the CV shafts. Okay, I got one CV shaft in. I had to fight it a little bit. Basically what you have to do is you do have to remove your brake caliper, brake rotor, and disconnect your inner tie rod in. And also kind of helps a little bit to get more room by removing sway bar link. So I went ahead and did that. And then just barely squeeze it in, and now we have one CV shaft. Alright, sucked her in. Yuck. I know, I'm taking a shower after this. So, this side was being kind of a bitch. Well, both sides were a bitch. It was easier to get this end of the CV shaft into the hub here than it was on the other side, but going in on the differential side, it was the exact opposite. This side was harder than the other, and oh man, it was just a mess. Anyways, the reason why it was hard is because you have to deal with a freaking C-clip on the end of that, and the other one doesn't have that. So I got them both in. I got her locked down pretty good. It's also a locking washer on there, so definitely make sure you use that so it won't back out. And I'll just slam this side back together, and then I'll fill her up with some oil. Hopefully we don't have any leaks. You know, that would suck. But yeah, we should be good to go. So in your old CV shafts, you want to make sure that you take your seal off here and transfer it to the new CV shaft. And guess we forgot to do the other side. This guy. Anyways, just managed to spill gearbox oil all over the place. Gearbox oil. Gonna get a second change of gloves. I'm gonna pop that wheel back on. Got the differential full. And then after pop the wheel on, we will go ahead and reconnect our vacuum and power or sensor connections, and then freaking we'll go for a test drive. And then after that, I'm gonna take a bleeping nap. Alright, successful. The brown wire mod works. I have fully functioning 4-wheel drive right now. It's kind of nice. Just select 4-wheel auto, flip your clutch switch, and it engages. I actually felt it engage and disengage. A lot of people, especially us, if you really shouldn't use it on drive pavement. You don't need it on drive pavement, but if you have it on, and you get like some popping and jerking or whatever, or some weird noises, that's called a torsional wind-up, and it's because they're at a slightly different ratio. The front wheels spin slightly faster than the rear wheels, and so when you disengage the clutch, it lets the two free up, and you won't get that popping. But if you're driving on grass or mud or dirt, that's when you flip that switch when you need it, or especially if you're on snow or ice. Now we're pretty much set for that. Now that I've controlled the clutch, when we go up to Idaho, if it gets kind of nasty, we'll just keep it in 4-wheel auto, and then, which is more like 4-wheel manual. 4-wheel auto, at least all the time, it should keep that front axle locked. I would hope so. But, yeah. We got CV shafts, we got 4-wheel drive. Now when I can get my front push bumper and get my off-road tires, and now feel good about it. And I was only going maybe 30 miles an hour. I didn't really feel any vibrations or anything. I probably won't feel any at all. especially when that clutch is disconnected. It's a breeze. You don't really feel any vibrations from that axle. And the reason why I say that is because it is from a different car, and I didn't mark the relationship of the differential and the transfer case, so I just kind of slapped it together. It's not a BMW, that's for sure. No. Oh, that's not funny. A BMW hit me. Alright, so cool. We're covered. We have working four-wheel drive. I'm just so excited. You can tell. So now I just have to clean up this gear oil mess that I spilt. That front diff only took about a bottle and a half of it, and I'm sure that differential's happy it has a gear oil change. That stuff before, man, when we took it apart, it was black, and it smelled worse than the Lucas stuff. And if you don't like the smell of the gearbox oil or diff oil, buy this Lucas stuff. I hardly smelt it. I mean, it still stinks, but you know, it's still pretty good. I think I had two bottles of different weights. Yeah, one was like a 140 and this is a 90. Oh well, it's still an ADW though. They're both pretty thick though. But yeah, that heavy duty high performance oil, it doesn't smell very bad. It was actually quite pleasant working with it. And come to a later time, I gotta take this seal and put it on the other CV shaft. In the meantime, I'm not too worried about it, and if I go through a wheel bearing, it's cheap and very easy to replace. Alrighty, went ahead and reinstalled my seat. Made quick work of that with my little new air tool. And yeah, got four-wheel drive. We hit the brown wire mod. We mopped the floor. I think she smells pretty good right now. Anyways, I'd say the only thing I have left to do on this car is throw on a little bumper on the front and some off-road tires. When I get those drilled and slotted rotors for the front and back, we'll take that wheel bearing out and we'll put that seal in. You really should have it in all the time, but I don't know, I'm tired. I just like the fact that it works now.